Right then, 17 things or details some of you may have missed during the onslaught of Battlefield 2042 news yesterday. There was a lot shared through official channels all day with tons of coverage here on YouTube, so rather than just rehash exactly what everyone else is telling you, I thought I'd step back and see if I could catch any small nuggets of news that may have been missed or overlooked, and I've got plenty to share. But first, today's video is in partnership with the Ridge wallet. I've been rocking the gunmetal version of the Ridge wallet for about a week now, getting used to the small form factor and sleekness. It's super clean and minimal. While the wallet is compact, it actually comes with a tiny screwdriver, allowing you to adjust the capacity to hold up to 12 cards as well as cash. There are 30 different color options available, and each comes with RFID blocking technology, meaning nobody can steal your card details. If this is your thing, follow the link in the video description or the pinned comment and use the code LOSSY for 10% off. Thanks again to The Ridge for sponsoring today's video. I feel a bit like Linus Tech Tips, but anyway, back to the video. First things first, let's start off easy. The ever-changing heads-up display throughout the different trailers and gameplay clips shown off yesterday. A slightly updated version of the beta HUD can be spotted at the beginning of the Specialist gameplay trailer, but once we get to the Jisoo Paik clips later on, the heads-up display dramatically changes, with the kill indicator moving to the center of the screen and sporting a much nicer look. But that's not the most up-to-date version. In fact, the UI changes even more when we get to look at this video clip. The kill indicator changes again to reflect a really nice blend of Battlefield 3, 4, and of course the new style in 2042. I think it's amazing. I really do genuinely like it a lot. Much more than the version we saw in the open beta. Honestly, this just goes to show how many iterations the UI team goes through and how old each might be. A nice look at the behind the scenes here, which I'm always a huge fan of. I wouldn't be surprised if the launch UI is a little bit more refined even compared to this. Maybe some score stacking. I think that's about the only thing that's missing. Next up, we have some potential visual customization shown off on the Sundance Specialist. They are an absolute badass. I can't wait to use their wingsuit. The lock-on grenade does appear pretty overpowered initially, but we'll get to that in just a second. In Sundance's intro clip, we can spot a tattoo on their face. It's sort of hard to tell what it is exactly, but maybe one of you lads can make it out. Regardless, this could be part of their character, or maybe it's a customization option. We know from previous DICE tweets that tattoos were one of the customization options they wanted to bring to Battlefield 5, but never got around to doing it. So I definitely would not be surprised if they added them here. Later in the same clip, the same Sundance clip, you'll notice that we can actually drive civilian vehicles that are just parked on the street. Now, I know this is something many players have always asked for, so it's really nice to see it here at last. But I doubt every vehicle can be driven. Even if there's just a few lying around, that'll make the game a lot more approachable, especially since these new maps are so massive. Now we get to the lock-on grenade, the anti-armor grenade. It features little thrusters that push it towards air targets, and yes, when watching the trailer right through, it does look like it's pretty lethal. But after examining things a little bit more closely, it mightn't be as overpowered as you think. I mean, look at how low the heli's health was to begin with. I'd imagine the grenade has a very short range on it too, meaning it won't just fly up to the sky and seek out potential targets. Is it goofy? Yeah, 100%. This will probably get quite annoying for some people, but I really don't think it's that big a deal. Like I said, the heli's health was already super low. Fire damage is back, and is back in a big way. In this clip, poor old Supremix gets engulfed in flames from a classic red barrel. The player is instantly killed, but instead of just falling to the ground, they actually react to the flames and try and fight it off. Again, this was actually a mechanic talked about for Battlefield 5, whereby the flames could be extinguished with a fire blanket gadget of some sort, and I could see the same sort of thing happening here in 2042. Then we come to the wall hack scene, and no, even I can't come up with a defense for this gadget. It's a wall hack, plain and simple. Though Though I will say we shouldn't base too much on this 15-second clip. I'm reserving my full judgment until I see this gadget out in the public live games. I feel as though there are other far more lethal specialists to watch out for. Plus, the battery time for this thing is super short. Based on this clip at least, the battery is reduced to half after just 4 seconds, meaning in total you'll only have about 8 to 10 seconds to use it. If DICE slap a super long cooldown on this scanner, then I can't see it being abused as much as this clip implies. Next, we get a proper look at Irish in-game. We've seen gameplay from the perspective of Irish, but never this close, I think. He's looking as badass as ever, and the voiceover work from the late Michael K. Williams will surely please a lot of fans. This is his default skin, I believe. We'll have to wait until launch to see the pre-order battle hardened skin, unfortunately. In the same shot though, we're introduced to 2 new gadgets, the EMP grenade, which will surely counter that wall hack gadget, as well as the insertion beacon, which I'm assuming is just the updated spawn beacon, but who knows exactly what this gadget is. But yeah, spawn beacon is definitely my bet. In the gameplay segments, you may notice the compass is always visible. This is a change compared to the way it behaved during the open beta. During the beta, it appeared every time you aimed down sights. Personally, it's so simple and clean, I barely notice it, and it will prove pretty handy for callouts, though I sorta hope we're given the option to turn it off. Ideally, the more options players have to fine-tune their HUD and gameplay, the better. One other UI element you may have missed is this label in the newly updated Comoros. Hold E to self-destruct. This actually applies to the RoboDog you can call in with the new call-in tablet. You're fully able to send the doggo to an enemy objective and then tell it to self-destruct. I can see many funny moments coming from this. In the spawn screen, the game mode is listed as Conquest Large, implying there are other forms of Conquest, maybe Conquest Small. Now I can't remember if this has actually been mentioned before, but DICE developers have stated in the past that with the use of Battlefield Portal, we'll be able to play the last gen version of maps on next gen hardware. Maybe Conquest Small is just that last gen version. Either way, I'm excited, as Conquest Small is sometimes even more fun than its big brother. The mini big map, or big mini map, or big map as DICE call it, is finally back, thankfully. This was something I really missed in the beta. Combined with the ping system, this will make callouts and pinging enemies for teammates a million times easier. The ping is also reflected on the heads up display with the letter Q. A down squad mate's icon pulses as shown in this clip. It's really subtle but a nice welcome change. Similarly, Casper's motion sensor gadget pulses red beams when an enemy is in range. At least that's what I think is happening in this clip. I can't say I'll be using Casper a lot anyway, but I think the red lines are a bit distracting, but hey, they need to make it visible for the gadget to make sense. Cross-platform VoIP will be coming post-launch. I'm guessing PlayStation is causing an issue since both the Xbox and PC platforms should work through the same VoIP system. Chatting with squad mates on other platforms may just need to be done through the use of third-party apps like Discord until improvements are made. And finally, a map change on Orbital that is very easy to miss. Callie, the level designer, actually mentioned this change in a tweet the other day, but now we get to see it in game. Quote, "For launch, we moved the D2 crane to the middle with some rocket thruster parts. The main infantry path is still the tunnel, but now you have more options." Big fan of this change, as that space was pretty open and scary for infantry players. And there you have it, 17 details that you may have missed. Let me know in the comments if you caught anything extra. I'd love to see what you spotted. Again, check out the link to the Ridge wallet if you're in the market to buy something new, and of course, tickle that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my latest Battlefield 2042 videos and live streams. Until the next one though, I'll see you lads later.